So afterwards, the crew had a look, and I can confirm it is very big. So could you make all the men listening, watching, feel a little bit better by talking through some of the problems with having a giant penis?
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. This is one that no one ever wants to hear.
Okay,
right?
well,
No one
yeah.
ever cares about big problems.
Hey guys, it's Hink here. So today we have to talk about a very, very world famous adult star. His name is Danny D. Okay, I found an interview that actually goes over some really interesting situations, especially when it comes to what we call big D problems. But we're also going to verify his actual size and debunk some myths about the industry and, in general, just have a good time. So stay tuned. Let's get into it today. So guys, off the rip, what we need to do is a Hink's reality check, because how big is this guy? Well, you guys know I talk about that subreddit where they actually verify these guys. If you're interested, just go to that subreddit and search for his name. But basically, he has a picture of himself next to a car where they have a verifiable measurement. And through back calculations, which I know it sounds crazy, but guys, like, the science is there. He's right at about 8 inches non-bone pressed. I know what you might be saying, Hink, there's no way this guy is only 8 inches. He is 8 inches non-bone pressed. And on top of that, he is very, very skinny. It looks like an absolute unit, whatever, no diddy, but dude is thick. Dude is thick. So being that long and that thick is going to look like it's 14 feet long. Now, guys, here's an actual beautiful summary of this. I found a comment on the subreddit, but he basically says, yeah, he's pretty skinny. He has, and his proportions make it look insane. And there was a guy over in the P community, and obviously, guys, PE stands for penile enlargement community, that basically took a photo of them standing in the mirror and pulling straight down. In the photo, it looked absolutely ridiculous, but dude was only about 7.25 inches measured. I'm gonna make a whole video about the tricks and lighting that goes behind the corn industry. If you want me to make that video, please leave a comment in the description saying, Hink, leave that video. And guys, I should be at 50K by the time I make this video, but now I'm on my way to 100K. So just take a second, leave a thumbs up on this video, and of course, subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. And so guys, this dude is 6'1". So he's actually a pretty tall dude. Some people say that's a bit of an overestimate, but he's a pretty tall dude, pretty lanky. But regardless, his proportions look absolutely insane. Now here's where things get spicy, okay? How big does he say he is? On one of his Reddit posts, he says, and you can see it for yourself, he claims to be 10.5 inches.
Oh, would you look at this?
Yeah, well...
Would you look at that?
Yeah, there's a... And guys, it's like, come on, dude. Like, you're not 10.5 inches. And actually, the guy who comments in this is actually the moderator of that subreddit I talk about, who says, like, come on, Danny, you're not 10.5 inches. You're one of the absolute biggest to ever be in the industry, but more like 8.5 inches, which is ridiculously huge. Why can't you help put to bed the myth of corn inches? And so, guys, like, this dude is exactly right. Like I just said, he's nowhere near 10.5 inches, but this is where chicks like that size queen chick get on here like, oh yeah, I've been with 12 inches, but derp. It's like, no, the f you haven't. Here's Danny D, one of the biggest guys in the world, and he's more like 8 inches non-bone pressed. And that's where this whole myth of like, oh yeah, Brickzilla, he's 15 inches. And these girl inches or whatever you want to call them gets perpetuated. And so guys, let's just take a look at some of the actual facts. So statistically speaking, guys, I'm going to put this on the screen, okay? Just looking at the average numbers. So somewhere between like basically 4.5 and 6, there's basically about a 1 in 6 chance of being within that size. Once you get to be 6.5, 1 in 15, okay? So guys, there's less than a 10% chance of you actually being greater than 6.5 inches. When you get to 7, it's 1 in 50, 7.5, 1 in 500, 8, 1 in a half a million to a million. Just 8 inches, 1 in a million. Now, if you think about there's roughly 4 billion men on this earth, it's not like that number is, there's no men like that, but it's still pretty rare. And then once you get to be 8.5 bone pressed, which is roughly what I would say he is if he's 8 non-bone pressed, it's about 1 in 10 million to 1 in 20 million. So guys, just have some perspective. I'm going to leave this chart on the screen. Take a second, pause it, and just look at this so you can actually get some reality. This is based on real scientific data. And guys, here's what we call a bell curve, where you can see basically the standard population and like where a normal distribution is and just how far above that normal distribution he is. Absolutely massive. Why do I care about this? Some people give me crap in the comments. Oh, Hink, why do you care about the size of another man's pee-pee? I care because this gets perpetuated. And people, oh, Danny D's 10.5 inches. And somebody with a perfectly average, if not on the upper limit of average, 5.5-inch bone-pressed PP is going to see that and be like, holy, this dude is more than double my size, and feel horrible about himself. Or some girl is going to assume that like, oh, Danny D is 10.5 inches. So I'd guess like the average is probably somewhere around 8. And so if you're like, oh, you know, how big have you been with? Oh, my last boyfriend was 8 inches. And then you get to the point where you want to off yourself. And so that's why it matters, guys. Now we're going to get to the podcast.
So afterwards, the crew had a look, and I can confirm it is very big. So could you make all the men listening and watching feel a little bit better by talking through some of the problems of having a giant penis?
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. This is one that no one ever wants to hear.
Okay,
right?
well,
No one
yeah.
ever cares about big problems. Big problems are a real thing. So in America, maybe I'm going to start there. If you've been to America, they have different toilets.
Right.
Right. Now, their water level, for some reasons, it's really high. Now, this is the biggest gripe I have. We still get it here, but when you sit down to go to the toilet, your penis sits on the bowl. Right. Now, in England, right, just say your missus has just bleached the bowl.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, I'm sitting on all that. I have to hold it up. So if I sit down, I have to like just
Wow.
pinch an inch and then hold it up. Otherwise, it just kind of sits in the bowl. And in America, they have a high water level, so it just sits in there floating around.
oh my God.
It's not nice.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Getting better already.
So guys, just so you know, like having a D big enough to actually drop into the toilet bowl in the US, like unequivocally big, but it's not like insane. So guys, like here's a stat here. If you have a standard toilet, the distance between like this toilet seat and the actual water level is about 5 inches, okay? Maybe 6 at the most. But guys, like if you sit down and like your butt kind of drops down below that toilet level, like we're talking about potentially less than 5 inches. So all you would need was basically be like a 4.5 to 5 inch flaccid D to actually touch the toilet bowl. That's very big, guys. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like you have to have a 12-incher in order to touch the toilet bowl. And just personal experience, guys, I don't like talking about my size. I'm quite large, okay? But the point is, like, it does kind of suck to have to like hold up, like you have to kind of like either hold it up or you're just like it, especially in a public bathroom, if it dips in there, it's just a horrible feeling. So, I mean, like I feel them on this.
Sometimes you can sit on it if you don't like adjust yourself properly. This is really embarrassing, but they sell these pants, right, for people to basically lift their package out, make it a bit more, presented, if you like. But if you have a larger bit, it works as like a little kangaroo pouch, and I can just keep everything in there. And I put them on as a joke and realize that these are actually pants for people with big penises. Right. It's the most comfortable thing I've ever seen, but you can't wear them out because it just presents everything here in a little bundle, But so yeah,
Just for loungewear.
loungewear.
So guys, if you've seen my posts from the community, I often post some of like my fitness progress pics. You'll see that I wear these underwear. They're called Sacs. And so the funny story is my girl's mom actually got them for me, which always made me a little uncomfortable because they have a big pouch in the front where like your junk fits nicely. And especially if you are on the more well-endowed side, like it's actually really nice. And so I do feel them on this. It is a bit comfortable, but just a bit of random trivia for you. My girl's mom bought me those Sacs pouch that you see in a lot of my photos.
If they don't have a little pouch or some sort of area to
Swimming trunks?
Yeah, just Speedos are a no-go, I'm afraid. You're quickly removed from the swimming centre wearing Speedos. But yeah, silly things like that can be a bit awkward. Or
First of all, I'm from the US. We don't have a lot of guys that are like wearing Speedos at the beach. To me, like if you're in the US beach and you're wearing a Speedo and like you're clearly not European, you're a gigantic douchebag looking for attention, okay? Shots fired. Let me know. Well, Hink, I wear... Okay, more power to you, bro. But like to me, it's just like dying for attention. Like everybody look at me. Now, I've seen some very nice, very built dudes like in a Speedo, and sometimes I wear like shorter, tighter shorts too, but I digress. The point is that like, yeah, dude, if you're packing like that, it's kind of obnoxious to wear a Speedo, okay? And at least he kind of recognizes that. But when I see a guy in a Speedo at the beach, what I think is that this dude actually has one of these little pouchy Speedos. So guys, they make Speedos, and I'll put a little like, screenshot on the screen, but they actually make Speedos that you can buy on Amazon with a built-in bulge to make it looks like you have a bigger pee-pee than you actually do at the beach. So that's what I think you're doing if you're wearing a Speedo, but that's just my paranoia.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that?
grey sweatpants, that's another annoyance because you're just as you are, but people think that you're excited.
Yes.
And you're not. And there could be scenarios where you don't want people to think you're excited.
Course,
you're walking through Centre Parks or something. Everyone's like, oh, look at him. And you're like, no, I'm completely relaxed at the moment. So yeah, there are a few little big problems along the way.
So guys, like here's something that I've experienced in my life. So like I know several like truly wealthy people, like over $100 million of wealth. You would never know it because they wear the same jeans that they've worn since the 80s and they drive a Toyota Camry. Meanwhile, like I know a lot of people that try to make it seem like they're rich and they're on Instagram posting their like Louis Vuitton monogrammed bags, posting these dinners with champagne and, you know, streaming all this stuff. Meanwhile, like the actual truly wealthy people don't do that. It's more like stealth wealth. To me, this is kind of the same thing with guys that have big peepees. Now, there's certainly obnoxious dudes where, like, period. There's just obnoxious dudes in the world. But like a lot of the guys that actually have big peepees, they actually don't try to be in your face about it. And they actually get a little like almost insecure about it. Like, oh, you know, my D is showing. Here's Danny D. And he's talking about like, he doesn't like wearing gray sweatpants because it looks too ridiculous. And, you know, people will think he's aroused. Meanwhile, guys, once again, they actually make sweatpants with a built-in bulge to make it seem like you have a bigger peepee. Like, I can't make this stuff up. But it's also like, bro, like, you know you're packing. Maybe just don't wear Speedos and don't wear gray sweatpants. Or if you're going to wear gray sweatpants, wear like tighter compression shorts underneath or wear baggier sweatpants. Many of you have seen my video on the Hink trial. I actually published my trial, my data showing that I had 7 guys that on average in 6 months put over a 1/2 inch in length and a 1/4 inch in girth. The link is in the description where you can see the write-up and you can see the before and after verified photos. I highly suggest that you check that out. But it is possible to increase the size of your penis, medically speaking, okay? And that trial is just part of the evidence. And of course, the course that my trial is based off of is my Hink enlargement course, which the link for that is in the description if you're interested in trying it. But before you buy my course, actually look at the data so you can say like, holy, this does work. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think. And the consensus that I've had is that people actually prefer the green mask rather than the black mask. So I'm probably going to keep it with this and maybe just do this for special occasions or when my girl's feeling freaky. But am I way off with this? Do you think I'm lying about Danny D's size? I want to know everything. Give me all the smoke you got in the comments, guys. Everything you leave helps the algorithm. And guys, I've said this before, more important than the size of your peepee, in my opinion, is how hard you can get. Guys, please keep yourself safe. That's why I recommend my safety stack. Shield to help support the pathways that keep your nerves healthy and functioning. Safeguard to help support your tunica and keeping it healthy and help support pathways that prevent fibrosis. And of course, Vigor is a part of that, as I already mentioned. Guys, all the ways to support Callie, links are in the description. Till the next one, guys, remember, be the best version of yourself. There's nothing wrong with self-improvement, but you are enough just as you are. All right, peace and love.
Dr. Hink got the plug on the health, yeah. Got you thinking about your wealth, yeah. In his office, no stealth, yeah. Pinnacle of that below the belt, yeah. Checks and balance, he's managing. Working miracles, no damage. Got you covered, no panicking. Steady calm. In the clinic, no vanishing. Yeah, with Doc Hink, it's the way back.